In my view, Dinah is one of the most misunderstood and one of the most important people inside of the entire Bible. And if we correctly understand her story, we understand so many important lessons. And conversely, if we misunderstand her story, we can walk away with some crazy ideas, such as victim blaming, such as wrongful ideas in regard to women and modesty. And we don't want that to happen. So let's go ahead, go back, look at the story of Dinah, and reframe it completely. So at the beginning of Dinah's tragic saga, we are told that Dinah, the daughter of Leah, went out to look at the daughters of the land, and then Shechem came along, kidnapped her, and violated her. Now, unfortunately, some people stop and they say, because Dinah went out to look at the daughters of the land, that's why Shechem came and took her and violated her. In essence, they blame the victim, and they actually use the fact that she's called Dinah, the daughter of Leah, as proof for this, because they say just like Leah went out to Jacob, Dinah also had that same like mother, like daughter attitude. She was proactive in that aspect, and that's not befitting for a woman. But the story is being taken out of context, so let's go back and look at that. When we see Leah going to Jacob, we are told by our sages that she went with the intent of building the tribes of Israel. It was a pure intent, and it was not negative at all. And God himself gave his stamp of approval on this. It says God hearkened to the prayer of Leah, meaning she did something praiseworthy. So when we're comparing Dinah to Leah, it's not a negative association, it's a positive association. We are saying that Dinah had that same drive to do for God that Leah had. So obviously, when Dinah was going out to the daughters of the land, it's not that she was going out for some kind of negative purpose. Obviously, she was going out for the honor of God. It wasn't an immodest act, and there was nothing wrong with it. And there's definitely no victim blaming here. Shechem came to the daughters of the land. He saw a girl, he took her, he kidnapped her, he violated her. It's 100% his guilt. There's no victim blaming here, ever, under any circumstances. We don't blame victims. And it's definitely not teaching us about the role of a woman to stay indoors and to be out of the public eye. And we actually learned this from a different aspect of Dinah. We are told that when Jacob and Esau were coming towards each other, Jacob took Dinah and he hid her inside of a box. We learned this out because this is that Jacob prepared his 11 sons and his wives, but Dinah is not mentioned. So we asked the question, like, where is Dinah? So we are told that Jacob hid Dinah inside of a box. Why? In order that Esau should not see her and desire to marry her. And this was considered a failing on Jacob's part. Why? Because Dinah had unique characteristics, unique qualities that would enable her to potentially influence Esau. She was the one person in the world who could set him on a path to repentance. So withholding her from Esau was considered a failing. We don't put women in boxes. We don't shut them off. That is a failing. We use their power, their desire to serve God in the correct way. And that's what Dinah did. Dinah went out to influence the daughters of the land, and unfortunately somebody else had bad intentions and took her. But sadly, many victims end up internalizing people's negative behavior, and they feel that they are broken. And that's what happened with Dinah. You see, our sages tell us that when the brothers staged a rescue attempt and they came to get Dinah, Dinah didn't want to go with them. Why? Because Shechem had been speaking lovingly to her heart. She was wounded. She felt broken. She felt less than. She felt, who would ever marry me? I'm not worthy of being part of the children of Israel anymore. I'm broken. I'm not holy anymore. Let me stay here with these people who are giving me all these glittery trappings. These people are making me feel good, who are making me feel a little bit better about my broken self. And it was only when Shimon, man of the listening heart, who saw her pain, it was only when he came and he sat down with her and he told her, he said, you're not broken. Your innate holiness did not dissipate after you were violated. You were holy before and you're holy after. You're so holy that I myself would marry you. You are worthy of marrying into the tribes of Israel. It was only when Shimon promised that he would marry her that Dinah picked herself up. She left behind the people who spoke nicely to her, the wicked people who were okay with violating women, the wicked people who were okay with promiscuity. She said, you know what? I'm not going to stick with that lifestyle anymore. I'm holy. Somebody came along and restored my dignity to me. And now I know my place. And now I have the strength to return to my people. The story of Dinah teaches us so many things. It teaches us that modesty is not about cloth, about covering. It's not about locking women away. It's about knowing who we are and channeling our power into the servitude of God. It teaches us that even great people who are full of power and spirituality and strength can have their down moments when they feel shattered. And it takes somebody else coming along and telling them, you're holy. You can rise. You don't have to stay down there. It tells us that purity cannot be destroyed. It tells us that one's essence remains holy even after they are violated. It tells us that we never blame victims. It tells us that Jewish women are powerful and resilient and have a great ability to impact this world, and that should be encouraged and not withheld from the world. Dinah was an absolute diamond, but she lost sight of that for a time. And it took a brother coming along and reminding her of her innate holiness before she was able to return to her people. And Dinah was such a diamond and such a spiritual powerhouse that it passed down to her progeny. Her daughter Asnas, we are told, married Joseph. And together, Joseph and Asnas, two people who had a line of pain behind them, they raised Ephraim and Manasseh out in the middle of Egypt, a place full of immorality and idolatry. But they were able to stand strong in the faith despite all the forces around them, because they had this incredible spiritual power within inside of them. Dinah was a marvelous, powerful woman. And if we understand her in context, we understand so much about the world and our place within it. And we have the incredible tools of healing that should be available to every single survivor of abuse. Because all of us are so full of power, and we need to get rid of all these negative feelings that plague us, because they hamper us from progressing and achieving in this world. Our holiness can never be taken away because of the wicked decisions of somebody else. But we need to know that, and we need other people to tell it to us, to encourage us, to bolster us, and to allow our light to shine.